Yesterday's shooting in Minneapolis may have all but sealed another government shutdown. Just days from now, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats will not move forward with a spending bill that includes DHS funding. South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham posted to X scolding Democrats backing out of the bipartisan agreement, calling it reckless. Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram is tracking this closely and joins us by phone. Hi, Chad.
Rich, good afternoon. It is increasingly likely we have a partial government shutdown next Saturday morning. It's about the math. Republicans need the votes of Democrats to clear a filibuster and put the spending plan on the floor. Now, Democrats were sketchy in their support before the shooting, but yesterday pushed them over the edge. Listen.
We can't vote to fund this lawless Department of Homeland Security. We cannot fund a Department of Homeland Security that is murdering American citizens, that is traumatizing little boys and girls all across the country in violation of the law.
Now, this bill funds 78% of the government. It includes money for DHS and the Pentagon. They need 60 yeas. Independent Senator Angus King of Maine helped end the fall shutdown, but he will not vote yes this time because of ICE.
I hate shutdowns. I'm one of the people that helped negotiate the solution to the end of the last shutdown, but I can't vote for a bill that includes ICE funding under these circumstances.
And even if they change the spending package, funding would lapse because the House and Senate are not aligned. The House is out this week. New Hampshire Democrat Jean Shaheen did not respond directly when asked how she would vote.
People are outraged by what's happening in Minnesota and by the out-of-control officers, federal officers that they're seeing on the ground by this shooting yesterday. It is horrific.
Now, as you say, GOP South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham accused Democrats of backing out of a bipartisan deal. He called this, quote, reckless and disappointing. They're trying to maybe rejigger this package a little bit in the Senate this week, but it's unclear if they can do that. Rich?
Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram joining us. Chad, thank you. For more on this, let's bring in California Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley. Congressman, thank you for joining us this afternoon. From what you see right now, do you think there is any way Congress is going to get out of this without another shutdown?
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, these were bipartisan bills that we passed. And, if there needs to be a conversation about, the way that ICE is conducting its operations, the way that immigration enforcement is proceeding, that's actually going to happen. My colleague, Andrew Garbarino, the head of the Homeland Security Committee, has called an oversight hearing where all of the agency heads are going to be coming in. And the bill, as it stands now, actually does have money for body cams, has money for training on interactions with the public. And so I think that, taking away funding, shutting down the government, not funding FEMA and TSA, as well as all of the immigration agencies, is exactly the wrong thing to do here.
And you mentioned that hearing now from the House Republican chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. A number of other Republicans, your colleagues on the Hill, have come out in support of that. Since I got to work this morning, I've seen more statements pile up. Do you support that committee holding a hearing and an investigation into this?
Yes, I think it's totally appropriate. What we saw, it's a tragedy, and we absolutely do not want these tragic episodes to continue. But we also need to look at the big picture, which is that in the vast, vast majority of jurisdictions throughout the United States, you aren't seeing episodes like this. You're seeing standard immigration enforcement being done as it has through every modern administration. But when you have a jurisdiction like Minneapolis or Minnesota that has declared itself to be a sanctuary jurisdiction, then they're saying, okay, we are not going to cooperate in any way, shape, or form with federal immigration enforcement. We're going to impede it in some ways. We're not going to participate in protecting the public or protecting federal officials. That creates a very hostile, adversarial situation. And then you have politicians like the mayor of Minneapolis, the governor of Minnesota, who have inflammatory rhetoric that throws fuel on the fire and that eggs people on. And then we see these, confrontations where officers are attacked and harassed. And what we don't want, though, is for this to then escalate into circumstances where people are losing their lives. So I think we need to come together and figure out a way to bring down the temperature and assure that immigration enforcement can continue, our officers are protected, and the public is protected.
Senator Lindsey Graham says he's going to introduce a bill that would outlaw sanctuary cities or the ability to become a sanctuary city I haven't seen any language on that. That just is an announcement that he made this morning. Do you support that, and do you think that that's something that the Republican House and Senate can deliver to the president's desk?
Well, not only do I support that, I've actually introduced that bill in the House. It was one of the first bills that I introduced in Congress, is the No Sanctuary for Criminals Act, saying that we should not have sanctuary states, that state and local authorities should not be impeding or failing to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. And the reality of a sanctuary jurisdiction is this, is that they refuse to have an orderly transfer of custody for individuals, for criminals who pose a risk to public safety. And so they actually release these individuals into the community. We've seen this in my state of California, which has declared the entire state to be a sanctuary state.
Okay, Congressman Kevin Kiley, thanks for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.